I am back again. Hey everyone. Boy, this last week has been a little bit of I don't want to say trial. Not going to be a baby about things, but it's been about a week since I got the Denture Fit, which is a, a soft reline, a product that you can do yourself at home. You don't have to pay a whole bunch of extra money, to your dentist office. And actually, Denture Fit can be used even over a professional soft reline, which I've never done because I'm so new in this journey. But I knew going in that it was my hope that the Denture Fit, because it's silicone, that it would make the uppers tighter, because I've noticed over the last 6 weeks that as my gums have been shrinking and everything, which that's normal. You're gonna have a lot of shrinkage over, I would say, the first year, that the top denture was going to start getting looser, and of course that happened. But it wasn't so much that the suction area, like right there, that never came undone. Never have had my denture fall out or anything like that. I got to the point where I only wore my my lower just like maybe once a week, just because it was painful and it was loose. And so my whole idea going into the expense of Denture Fit was to be able to make the top ones tighter so they wouldn't fall out, as things continue to shrink and stuff. But also my hope was that the lower would be tighter, so that I wouldn't have to use adhesives. And so that is what happened. And of course, the lowers are always harder to get adjusted just right, because there really isn't any kind of a section, a way to like keep it on. But the Denture Fit definitely helped. And so over the last week that I applied the Denture Fit, which is a soft silicone, I've been able to eat normal foods. Of course, some things I still have to take smaller bites. Haven't really figured out about like biting through harder things, like hot dogs or hamburgers. I still have to, cut it up. But from everything that I've researched, I will get there where I can just, eat a hamburger or a hot dog just like regular people do. But what happened with the top one is applying the silicone made it extremely tight, which is good on one sense. But because I just found out it's not that this one area is just part of, I guess, my natural jawbone. It was actually it's a bone spur that I've had now for about 4 months. I started doing the extractions 1st of October. So I thought, okay, well, this is painful. I'm like suffering through it. I just gotta just hang in there. But I thought, you know what? I'm gonna lose my willpower real quick if I can't figure out a way to just adjust the area that is causing pain. So I contacted DentureFit, told them what was happening, and they suggested that I use a razor like what you shave with. Well, and I was able to get the razor down a little bit, but not far enough. And so that didn't really help. I did have a nail file that had, the coarser side. That worked about as good as the razor. Still wasn't able to get it all the way down in the area that was causing pain. And so I thought, okay, what am I gonna do? And I had asked my husband, what a Dremel was, because I had been reading comments from other channels that were kind of having some of the same similar circumstances that I've had. And some people were using a Dremel. And of course, I don't know anything about stuff like that. So I asked my husband, and he's like, well, you'll have to bring it here, and I'll look, and maybe I can come up with something better. But he did have a Dremel, obviously. But I didn't want my husband like messing with my denture. I was like, okay, I got to be able to take care of this myself. So I thought and I thought, and I thought, well, maybe if I had some sandpaper, because the nail file, I couldn't get down to the area. And of course, the razor wouldn't go down far enough. And I thought, well, maybe sandpaper. And I knew my husband had sandpaper in the garage. And so I found some pretty coarse sandpaper, and I was able to fold it over and just get into that area that was causing the pressure and causing the pain. And so I did just a little bit over the course of, I would say 3 days. I did just a little bit, rinsed it off, put it back in my mouth, and left it alone for that day. Next day, it was better. I could tell that it was definitely better, but it was still causing pain. So I did that 2 more times, and now it's fixed. I'm not having the feeling like it's so tight that I can feel my pulse, because I was having that after I first applied the silicone. It's like I was sitting there and everything was really quiet, and I'm like, that's my pulse. I am feeling my pulse in the roof of my mouth. And I'm like, okay, that's too tight. This hurts, but I just kind of suffered through it. And so now it's still tight. It's definitely tighter than before I put it on, but it's not so tight that it's causing pain and making me wish that I could just take my dentures completely out and give my mouth a rest, because I try not to do that. It's like, yeah, around 5 o'clock in the afternoon, all done with work, just relaxing for the evening. Yeah, then I'll take them out. I do my my 3-minute cleanser, and watch a little bit of TV, and then I go to bed. And when I wake up is when I wake up, getting ready to go to work, and then I put them in, and I basically start my day. So that definitely helped, the sandpaper. But what I will caution anybody who tries to adjust themselves, whether you have the denture fit or not, because even without, when you first get your dentures, there's going to be areas that have to be adjusted. I was lucky there was only 2 times that I had to go back into the dentist and have them adjust. And I was really thankful because I've read other comments of other people that had to go in like 5 or 6 times, like within the first week or two. And so I'm thankful that I only had to go in twice. But some people are wanting, because a lot of people have to pay out of their pocket. I was very, very lucky in the sense that the state of California paid for the whole cost. It paid for everything. And so I'm definitely thankful to God for that. But other people, you have to pay for every time that you go in. So if do your research. Do not just go try to adjust yourself until you have really, really, really done your research. But if you're still having pressure points and pain after using the denture fit, the silicone, you can take a nail file, because it's sandpaper. It's just, with me, it was like at the very bottom of the wall and where the trough starts. I couldn't get the nail file in that area. And so I just took it was a round piece of sandpaper, basically, to be used on the end of a tool. That's what my husband had, and it was really coarse. And I'm like, well, he's not going to notice this is gone. And so I just took it. I've got it in my medicine cabinet for, when I have to do the silicone again in a few months. And I just kind of like crinkled it in half and just got right there in the edge where it was hurting, and just filed away just a little bit. Don't overdo it. Give it a whole day, maybe 2 days, see if it's good enough. And if it's still causing you pain, then maybe the next day go back and just shave off just a little bit more. Like DenSure Fit told me, even microscopic changes can make a huge difference in your mouth. Okay. And another tip for any newbies: when you are learning to eat, and even when you are more advanced in eating, there will be some foods that are going to get stuck up in there. They're going to get stuck down here. And I'm not advanced in any way, shape, or form. But what Bill told me, and those are the 2 channels, when I came out of the closet, so to speak, with, my whole journey with this. I left his 2 links to his channels, what he does, and I do this myself now, and it really works, to make sure that you rinse off any food that might be like way up here or back here where you can't get your tongue in. Take a drink. Water is probably better, but if you don't have water, just anything, swish it around, think of it like you're trying to gargle, and just do that a couple of times. You can even and I'm not real expert at this yet, but sometimes you'll still get food underneath the bottom ones. You can lift that up while you're swishing the liquid around and rinse out the bottom of your denture without having to be embarrassed, especially, if you're out eating in public with friends or family or whatever. You don't even have to excuse yourself from the table. Just quickly rinse your mouth like that. And it usually gets it. I have noticed that it really, really helps. So that's one trick that I learned from watching Bill's channel. And let's see. Trying to think. Now, I have also been doing something, and I'm not taking my dentures out to show you what it looks like without dentures in. No way, not going to do that. But for me, I'm real self-conscious walking around my house without my dentures in. If I'm back in my office and nobody's coming back bothering me, I'm okay. But if I have to like walk to the kitchen or anything like that, because I don't like the way I look without dentures, to me, it feels like I have a sunken in face. And maybe that gets better the longer you have dentures. And I hate talking without the dentures. I hate it. My speech is all messed up. My boys have seen me without them, and they just love me no matter what. I still have not shown my husband yet, but I did discover my own little trick that if I'm just, I need to go get ice in my glass or something like that, just to walk through the house, I kind of like blow on my cheeks just a little bit, like, but not that much. You don't want it to be noticeable. But just so you don't have that sunken in, because what's really, and this drives me crazy. And you can do this and breathe in and out of your nose. But every time I would breathe in through my nose, my cheeks sink in. And I cannot stand that look. And I know it's complete vanity, but I'm not comfortable in this skin yet. And so maybe, a year down the road, I won't care. But for right now, because it's so new and, I have to get used to myself. I discovered this probably about a week ago, that if I just gently blow on my lips, like, think of like if you're blowing up a balloon. If you just gently do that, keep your mouth closed and just gently blow, you can still breathe in and out of your nose, but your face doesn't look sunken in. You look normal. Nobody will ever be able to tell that you don't have your dentures in. Don't try to talk. I haven't mastered how to talk and not have my face look like it's sunk in. So that's a tip that I found all on my own. And I know some of you guys are probably laughing, but I am not joking when I said in my original video that this has been traumatizing for me. It really has been traumatizing. I mean, until after the fact, but new self and, quote unquote, I mean, I know God loves me. Those of you who might feel like I do, you're still real self-conscious about it. Think about people that have to learn how to walk on a prosthetic leg or to use a prosthetic arm. Teeth are no different. You have to learn to talk in them. You have to learn to eat in them. And it's just a lot of things is trial and error. Especially some things, even when I'm talking, I have to, while I'm talking and saying the word, I have to train my tongue in the middle to hold it down because it wants to pop up. And it's annoying, but you do get used to it. You do get used to it. And Valentine's Day will be exactly 2 months since I had my final extractions and took my immediates home. So in all, I think I'm doing I think I'm doing pretty good, honestly. And I'm not easy to live with. I know there's been a few comments my husband has made that he's just kind of stayed out of kicking distance because he knows I've been really angry throughout this whole process, And he's like, I just stay away from you, just stay out of kicking distance. And so he's dealing with my trauma I guess the only way he knows how to. Oh, another thing I've seen, um, well, Bill said this from the other channel that I guess somebody told him when he first got his dentures, because he used to, sing and play the guitar, and he's like, yeah, they say, you can't sing and you can't sing if you have dentures. And I'm like, yeah, I better be able to sing because that's like my ministry. But yeah, the the song that me and Danny did, that he did the music, and now it what is the name of that? Oh, Sar Shalom. I did that half and half. I did that because some of the words, the pronunciation of the words weren't causing problems, but it was causing like the sound to be like too explosive through the microphone, and I didn't know how to correct that. And so some of the words in that song, to just fix those issues, I sung without the dentures in. And then the rest of the song, I recorded with my dentures in, and I had only had them for like 10 days. But yes, you can absolutely sing, in dentures. I can give you a little demonstration. Wonderful Counselor, mighty God, the everlasting Father, Prince of Peace. And see, that's from the new song, Sar Shalom, Prince of Peace. And so you can, it's really no different than learning to talk, basically. Some words I still have a little bit of little bit of trouble um with, like some of the s's and stuff. um but just keep practicing. It's like the dental assistant the day I took him home, she said, just talk to yourself all day long. And so that's pretty much what I did, is I just talked as much as I could and tried not to feel too awkward about it. But yeah, at least I got the one area fixed, so I'm just not sitting here in pain wishing I could take them out. But Denture Fit really, really is a great product. And within the first year, if you're brand new and you find my videos, don't get discouraged. Just understand your mouth is going to go through a lot of changes over the first year. And honestly, time will tell. I don't know if I will end up getting what's called permanent ones. I don't know. I suppose if these would start giving me problems or something, maybe a year down the road, 6 months down the road, I might explore that. But if these do okay, then this might be it. But I'm prepared, years down the road, something might happen and I want a better fit, or, things to look a little bit better than, I mean, I'm happy with the outcome. I look a little bit different than what I used to, but it's definitely better than, all the natural problems I was going through, to where I couldn't even show my face. I had to hide behind the microphone, like, I talked about a couple days ago, and everything. So yeah, just wanted to come on and just kind of give a just an update. And anybody else who has gone through this, or you're getting ready to, don't get discouraged. The healing pain, from the gums, I mean, that's only temporary. It's definitely, it's worth it, especially if your self-esteem has really, really suffered like mine has. you will find that you like smiling again, you like showing your face. And like I always, I mean, I hate wearing the mask, you know, because of COVID, but I guess I was kind of glad COVID hit when it did, because I hid behind the mask so people wouldn't see my problems, you know. And it does a number on your self-esteem. It does, you know, but just allow yourself time to emotionally, mentally heal. I'm not fully there yet, but I'm definitely on my way to healing. And of course, for me as a Christian, I know the ultimate healing lies in Jesus Christ. And, you know, in order to be what he wants me to be, you know, to fully get back into music ministry, I had to take care of this issue. And, you know, he provided the means and the way to do it, so that it wasn't, you know, a great debt for me. I didn't, you know, go into terrible debt to do this. So I'm definitely very, very, very thankful. So, all right, you guys, I'm going to head on out. Hopefully get to go on a motorcycle ride today with my husband. I got one more order I got to finish up to end my work day. But sorry I can't see your guys' comments. I'll see it's like disconnecting with me, but I will look at everyone's comments when I do the replay of this. But all right, everyone else, take care. God bless. Oh, girls' night out is going to be at 1 o'clock on Wednesday, because I have a doctor's appointment at 3:45 this Wednesday. So just look for me and Michelle at 1, and I'll just see you next time.